Welcome everyone to online events. Evening tonight, online counselling in a niche market with Buck Black. Welcome, Buck Black, to online events.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you online tonight, and welcome to everyone who's joined us from all over the globe tonight to participate in our event. It's great to have you with us. Buck and I are going to be chatting here using voice and video, and I guess everyone can see us. And if you want to make a comment, ask us a question, just pop your question in the chat room and we'd be happy to respond to you. So that's great. Buck, you're a therapist over in the States, working in face-to-face therapy, and you also work online. Maybe I could start by asking you, about your ambitions to get into this kind of business. Where did it all start for you?
Well, it all started a good while back. I would say the first time that I said that I want to do a therapist and I want to work with people would have been when I was in the 5th grade. So that would have been probably around 11 years old, somewhere in that range. And it's been something that I wanted to do throughout, and I really enjoy talking with people and really having that involvement. And as I progressed through school, I took all these psychology classes, and I liked it more and more and more, and I said, yes, this is what I really want to do.
Wow, so really from a young age you had a passion to work with people and to be in private practice, and sounds like throughout your education that you learned more about what that would mean and you got more excited about it, and here you are.
I did, yeah. Yes. And I did specifically dream of having my own practice where I could be in charge of running my own office and working with people one-on-one. So there were several points I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, and it's just amazing once I was able to start doing that.
Yeah, so I guess it's been a bit of a journey for you to get to this point where you're living your dream, I guess, and doing
exactly
what you wanted to do. Yeah?
Yes, I really enjoy it.
So can you tell us a little bit about the experience that you've gained along the way, the kind of things that you've done to get yourself to this point?
Well, I've had several different experiences. When I got my master's degree in social work, so that would be the degree that allows me to be a therapist here in the States, I started off working with sex offenders. So it was people who were convicted of sexual crimes like rape and child molestation, that kind of thing. So I had a lot of work with that sexuality aspect. And then I did that for about a year, and then I went on for a couple more years to specialize in substance abuse. So as far as working with people who are abusing alcohol or some other drug. And I worked with them in groups as well as one-on-one. So those were a couple of big areas that I got a lot of experience in just right off the bat. And then I went on to do a lot of couples therapy and family therapy, working with depression, anxiety, the run-of-the-mill stuff as well. So I definitely got a pretty well-rounded experience there.
Yeah, sounds pretty well-rounded out to me, Buck. And I guess you started off in some areas that a lot of therapists feel are really, really difficult areas, but you went straight there.
I did. And, some of it was just kind of how it fell together. And the other piece was I did want a challenge. And I'll tell you, it's one of those feelings that when you can handle dealing with the sex offenders and dealing with the substance abuse folks that often they don't want to be there, that the court is making them come. If you can deal with that stuff as a therapist, then hey, the rest of it's going to be pretty easy. That's kind of my thinking. If you can survive that, you can deal with the other stuff. So, I enjoyed all of it, but I'll tell you, when I did move on to my private practice, And to get away from the group therapy so much and doing more of the one-on-one and the family therapy, that's where things were a little more relaxed, and I really started enjoying that. Yeah.
Sounds like that you were then coming into the kind of work that you really wanted to do, where your passion was.
Right. Yes.
And I think when we talked before, you said you spent quite a lot of time working with people over the phone, so you got a lot of experience of working people where they weren't in front of you physically.
Yes, I almost forgot about that. That would have been my very first experience would have been over the phone. It was at a counseling, or let me say that again, a crisis center that is here in my hometown in Lafayette, Indiana. And that was the time that I was going to college to become a therapist, but I wasn't there yet. I was able to do all this training to be a volunteer and talk to people on the phone who were suicidal, or they were just very depressed, very anxious, things like that. And I had over 500 hours of that volunteer experience before I got my degree. So I think that's probably what started out my distance coaching services. That's what really got me tied into that.
Yeah, so that's 500 hours is a lot of experience to have with people who are not sitting directly in front of you, which I think for a lot of us who've started out in face-to-face work is the real challenge of working online. What do you do when you don't have someone in front of you?
Exactly, yeah. And for me, just having all that experience, especially firsthand, that made me get very comfortable with it very quickly. And that's over the phone. I wasn't able to see them. So when I do Skype, then hey, that's even better. That's a really big bonus there.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about what your practice looks like now, Buck?
Well, right now, my private practice is pretty much a standard private practice. I do a lot of couples counseling, individual, of course, and a little bit of family stuff. Often I work with anger management, anxiety, depression, some sexual issues as well. So those are the main things that I do in the office. And I generally run, somewhere around 35 clients each week in the office with face-to-face. And then I do the distance coaching, which is completely separate. And I generally have, probably about 5 clients per week doing the distance coaching, somewhere in that range. It varies, of course. So it's a pretty good blend. I've got a good bit in the office, and then I can do the fun stuff with the technology too.
Yeah. Yes, it sounds like you've got a busy week, Buck.
I do. It is busy.
And it sounds like from what you're saying, what you do in the office, that's therapy, and
yes.
What you do online, you describe that as coaching?
Yes, I do. And in the United States, I know that it's different in all areas, but in the United States, when we use the term coach, or let me say that again, when we use the term therapy,